After much delay, the Hoboken City Council has selected a redeveloper for the municipal garage on Observer Highway. Councilman at Large Peter Cammarano joins me now with the details. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Sherry. Nice to see you again.
It's nice to see you as well. Can you give me some of the details on the sale?
Sure. The sale that culminated in the action that the City Council took last week is the end result of a multi-year process involving 3 different bid processes. We went out to bid 3 different times on this property, and over the course of these 3 bids, which came in throughout the last 2+ years, the city turned down every bid that came in the first 2 rounds. Then last week we voted on the 3rd round of bids. There were 3 bids that came in. There was a bid for $25.5 million to build a 12-story residential structure. That was the bid that the City Council ultimately accepted. There was also a $30.1 million bid to build a 12-story structure, and there was a $26 million bid to build a 9-story structure. And that, as I said, those bids were the 3rd round of bids that had come in. The previous rounds of bids, 2 rounds of bids, had produced another 12 or so bids that we looked at and ultimately rejected. But it's been a long process, over 2 years of different bids going out, a lot of input from the community, and a lot of hand-wringing with the City Council and the mayor and various developers who have been interested in this property.
What's the next step?
The next step is to proceed to a redevelopment plan with the designated developer. I think that there's been a fair amount of controversy, though, about what's happened so far. Myself and Councilman Ramos and Councilman Giacchi all voted no on the bid that was ultimately accepted by the City Council, based on the fact that the bid that the $25.5 million bid would result in the largest building possible that had been proposed in this 3rd round of bids, but the lowest amount of money. 12 stories. It's a 12-story residential structure, and I believe some retail on the 1st floor, but for $25.5 million. And again, we are going to have to go ahead with a redevelopment plan with that developer who won that bid and won that vote at the City Council last week. But myself and 2 other council members, Councilman Giacchi and Councilman Ramos, voted no on that based on the fact that there was another bid on the table that didn't conform to the request for proposal process. It didn't conform to every last jot and tittle of that bid package, but it was a bid for $30.1 at the same size building. It was also a 12-story building, but $5 million more, about $4.6 million more. And then there was another bid, which again was not conforming, but still was an offer on the table that was $500,000 more, but only a 9-story building instead of a 12-story building. So it was sort of a paradox what had happened at the City Council. But that being said, the votes came out where they came out, and we're going to have to go ahead with a redevelopment agreement with the person who won that vote.
Well, thank you very much for joining me to talk about this.
Thank you, Sherry.